I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. I'd like to welcome Azriel Light. Hi.
Hello.
I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself to everybody.
All right, so my name is Azriel Light. I shall be your battler for today, and I hope all of you will have a pleasant stay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, that's usually my introduction. Yes.
Well, I think we'll have a very pleasant conversation because I think that you do a great
Indeed.
job, and it looks like you're really enjoying yourself with VTubing. I think that's pretty easy to say.
Yep. It has been a really long road, honestly.
So, how long have you been doing it?
I have been doing this for quite some time. I think it should be roughly 6 years.
Oh, wow! And that all as
Yep,
a
yep.
VTuber, or did you do any other type of streaming?
Most of them are VTubing.
Mhm.
I started off with, without any face at first. So without the voice, without any faces, I think it was like 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I decided, you know what, maybe we can spice it up a little bit, yeah, and put, a little bit of an, old man, because a lot of people calls me an old man.
A lot of more people call me old man because I am.
Yeah, that makes two of us then.
Well, so we got started just to get started. What brought you to start in the first place? What was interesting for you that brought you into streaming at all?
Honestly speaking, I don't know. I never think that far. It's just that, during the time when we have that thing going on in 2019,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people ends up not having a lot of work. That includes me as well, because I was supposed to start working during that time,
Right.
but I only managed to start working for 1 day and a half before the lockdown comes in.
Perfect. And
So,
you have good timing.
so here we are. Yep, it was a really good timing.
Yeah. So you had some time on your hands.
Oh, yep, a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's basically on and off, on and off. Sometimes I do it for fun.
Mm-hmm.
During the time when that year comes in,
Mm-hmm.
I either try to do a little bit of the streaming, and then I would try to get some work. But at the
Yeah.
same time, a lot of things happen.
Right. Right. A lot of things were happening
Yep,
all over the
exactly.
place at that time. So once you got started with it, was it very comfortable for you, or was it a walk in the park, or was it a little rough to get things started?
It was very rough.
You were laughing before I
Um,
even got the question out.
yep. Because it took me at least 2 years to get to affiliate, so it was a pretty rough start.
Mm, no, so I mean, it takes people that sometimes.
Yep,
Were you
yep. Sometimes
comfortable?
yes.
How long did it take you to get comfortable with a microphone?
Ah, quite a long while, honestly.
Mm,
Quite a long while as well.
yeah.
Back then when I just started, I wasn't able to converse, especially when it comes to English. English isn't my primary language, so sometimes I either stutter or I try to end up repeating the same word again and again and again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chatters were so kind enough to tell me, "Hey, old man, you are repeating your words again." It's like, what word was it? I think, if I remember correctly, it was in the ad.
Well, I mean, they're paying
So,
attention, you know.
yep, exactly. They,
Yeah.
they keep on the counts. I think the highest was roughly around 25, 26.
Well,
That's a lot of numbers. So.
it was a good phrase, okay? You were just using it well and often. That's all
Yep,
there was to it.
yep, exactly.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
since then, your English has become perfectly fine to use on this.
mhm.
Have you streamed in any other languages, or has it been just English?
Mostly in English because I'm living in Malaysia. There's two languages that we have.
Mm-hmm.
One is in Bahasa Malaysia, that is one. The other one that we learn is English.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, I used to have locals comes in. So I usually talk in that language by itself.
Mm-hmm.
But after a long while, it shifted to either Southeast Asia, like the Philippines, the Singapore,
Mm-hmm.
and Indonesia. And right after that is more away from the Southeast Asia part, like the USA, Alaska, and everything. So I uses more English than my own language right after that.
It's something to see that kind of the languages of VTubers. Obviously, with things getting started in Japan, there's an overwhelming amount of people in Japanese
Exactly.
language. But it seems like English becomes the default, which is okay, but it's also kind of sad a little bit because I think we might lose a little bit in the translation sometimes. Um,
Yep. That's true.
yeah, but again, you're looking for an audience, and if your audience is mostly English speaking, you probably ought to speak English.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah. So are you comfortable with the English now?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
Because there are audience and also friends who have been with me during the journey.
Hmm.
They did mention that my English has been getting more better than before.
Hmm.
The confidence levels that I have is way better than I had last time.
Hmm.
Uh,
Well, yeah.
because back then I tried to talk.
Hmm.
It's either, like I said earlier, it was like either stuttering or the worst case scenario, people don't understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah. It's there's a lot of difference in trying to learn languages, and I basically only know English, and I know just a smidgen of some other words in other languages.
And that's
Um,
okay. That's
yeah,
okay. Totally fine.
yeah, but I can maybe tell what people are talking about. Spanish may
Mm.
be the thing I know most about, and that's not much. That's just saying like one is bigger than zero, as far as that goes. It isn't much
I
difference
think there's
there.
a word for saying something like it's not much, but it's honest work. Yep.
Yes, it's honest work. Um, and I really regret not learning a language in my very much younger days, but it's a difference between knowing the words and being comfortable enough to use them in a conversation.
Yep.
Yeah,
Understandable. Yes.
yeah, and reading it and saying it and that type of understanding it, that type of thing. It does take a little while, but with what you got started with, what was the first thing that you streamed? Was it just you talking with somebody, or did you throw a game on?
I literally just throw a game on.
What was that first game?
I think if I remember, it should be Monster Hunter.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
So
a
back then, Monster Hunter is a really fun game for me to play.
yeah.
And I was like, I played it from 8 a.m. in the morning until 8 a.m. 8 p.m. in the evening. Not 24 hours, no.
No, but to half of that anyway.
Yep, it's about half of that, yes.
Yeah. Well, the, what is the most appealing thing to you about Monster Hunter?
Uh,
Is it the
I would
variety or?
say I think the variety is one of them.
Hmm.
Two, you are able to play with friends.
Hmm.
Three, I am that kind of person who likes to grind a lot in games, especially games like Monster Hunter is one of them. If there is JRPG or an RPG game, most likely I will end up grind the living being out of it. So it's that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
I like to do that kind of thing, and everyone was like, "Hey, woman, I think you need to chill a little bit because you're grinding a bit too much." But it's fun. That's the whole thing. It's fun to play.
I had a game once back in the Stone Ages, where I did not know what the end of it was, and I couldn't find the end of it, and I didn't have a code book or didn't have anything to go by. And by the time I mapped the entire map on graph paper, my characters were so far high that there was no possible way they could lose. They're
And
like,
that's the whole point.
that's right. I mean, they
Exactly.
were level like 600 and some, when they're, you could win at level 40 probably. They walk out and the
Yep.
dinosaurs were running from them at that point.
Exactly, yes. That's the whole point about grinding and leveling up. At least you become that particular king itself.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So have you ever had a situation where you've leveled up, but you leveled up the wrong way? Like
Yes. Yes, it happens, yeah.
how
And
frustrating is
then you
that?
have, yeah, it's it can be frustrating, but then you realize that that mistake that you made
Uh-huh.
makes yourself learn even better. Then you go back and start over again, and it makes things easier, which is interesting. That's pretty much how I go with life as well. I do a lot of mistakes here and there, but that mistakes may be either embarrassing or maybe it's making myself feel bad, but at the same time that thing actually helps me to go through along the way. Although someone do need to let me know that it's okay to not be okay at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's a great attitude to have. I mean, no matter what you're doing, it's it's tough for some folks to deal with that because when we look at you say we didn't do something all the way, and the word
Mm.
failure comes in, and you start using it as a shield. I mean, yeah, failure.
Yep,
I,
yep, yep,
I
yep.
failed at everything, but you had that attitude where, yeah, okay, well, let's just do it again.
Yep.
Have
Because
you
that's how, yeah, yeah, exactly. No, continue, continue.
no have you always had that type of attitude?
Ah, hmm, let's see. Back then was a little bit different. I think I kind of shifted a little bit.
Hmm.
Back then, it's more like if I don't manage to obtain something, I would tell myself that's okay. There'll probably be another chance, or maybe maybe it's just not the thing that I can obtain.
Mm.
Because I do have a lot of work before. I think I used to work in let's see here. I used to work in a bubble tea shop. I used to work in a sector where it involves with aeroplanes, I think.
Hmm.
And that's more than that. But overall, there are something that I like to do.
Right.
I like to do heavy duty work, but
Hmm.
at the same time, because of my back, I wasn't able to do it.
Right.
So it can be really disappointing, but at the same time, I would keep telling myself it's okay. You can still continue on. You have people to support along the way. You have a loved one that has been with you for years and years to be beside you and keep telling you it's okay. And I just continue on right after that.
That's a tremendous attitude to have.
Mm.
I need that in my life. I'll tell you that. It's a great attitude to take with you no matter what you're doing, and have you carried that over onto being online and the VTubing?
Yes,
Mm.
that's probably the reason why I'm still here. Yeah, I mean, truth to be told, there are times where I do feel down whenever things doesn't go the way that I want it to be.
Hmm.
Um, I think there's also a term where a lot of people uses like they go for a long hiatus,
Hmm.
for like either weeks, days, or months. Could be worse. It could be years.
Hmm.
I went for 3 months of hiatus until I decided to come back because I was sorting out my mind for a bit.
Hmm.
I had my partner to actually help with that.
Hmm.
She was like, "Okay, I'm gonna see if we can actually find someone to help you along the way,"
Right.
which it did work.
Hmm.
Which is it did work, and then people tell me that if you try not to push that one button that would destroy you
Hmm.
and and put that away and instead maybe just either be myself or you know if I have a problem, don't shut it down and talk about it to other people. Instead, maybe just have a small conversation so that you would know what you want to do in the future and everything. So that's exactly what I did.
Oh, that's
And
wonderful. That really
mm,
is. I wish I could put that on a T-shirt for everybody, so they could.
maybe one day we can.
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
know.
Well, with that, I mean, with that attitude, and you mentioned it took a little while to get where you wanted to start off with on the streams. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so are you where you thought? I mean, maybe you didn't even think you'd still be doing it after this time, but is your progress satisfactory for you at this point?
I would say yes. It's like I said earlier, it's not much, but it's honest work. But I do enjoy where I am at the moment. I would still try to improve over the time
Mhm.
because sometimes you just want to go, you want to be better. You just do not want to stay at one place. You just want to be better in the future,
Yeah.
maybe in the present. So I would still try my very best to actually learn new things, so that at least we'll get better, not only for me, for the people that's watching, because me being here itself, me able to, find more people out there. I have made new friends along the way. They were amazing people out there,
Uh-huh.
and I think without them, I won't be here either.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been able to kind of use this as a way to not only socialize, but
Mm.
maybe a little bit of therapy as well for yourself.
Mm, Maybe for socializing, therapy, I would try my best not to uh, disturb people that much because I know people in life,
Hmm.
people have their own problems to think about.
Right.
I would go and talk to them about it, but at the same time, I would just try my best not to say too much
Oh
because,
yeah. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I people can be.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think there was a word for it. Trauma dumping, wasn't it?
Yeah. Trauma dumping.
Yeah, that.
What I meant was doing this helps doing VTubing helps your mental attitude and how you feel about yourself and how it goes. Because I know doing these interviews helps me out a lot. It's a great therapy for me to come in and be able to talk with folks, wonderful folks like yourself, interesting people from around the world. Um, it's a great just doing it is a great therapy for me.
Yep,
Um,
yep. It's when you enjoy doing something,
yeah.
you just want to do it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. And some people will call it a safety net or a safe space or something along that. But
Yep,
sometimes
yep,
it's
yep.
just
I
fun.
think either safety net, safety is yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's just fun. It's just fun to keep going and keep doing it. Um,
Yep.
so you say you've been able to meet a lot of some good people along the way. Have you got yourself kind of a group that you work with on collaborations and such?
I did. It's I think you did interview Mel before,
Oh
so
yes,
that's a one. Yeah.
yes. We finally got Mel
She's a
in.
wonderful person, yes.
We chasing Mel for a year. We just
I
could.
heard, I saw, and I was like, oh yeah, wow.
Well, it was worth the wait. Mel's wonderful.
Yep, 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 she is.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
I was so happy to get her on and finally talk with him. Um, so with that, you has it hit you yet what you're able to do from your computer and your microphone, where you're able to meet people around the world, maybe like where I'm standing on the other side of the planet from you, um, literally on the other side of the planet from you,
Yep,
uh,
yep, yep, yes.
and basically just pick up a microphone and talk to them and get to know them. How does that hit you?
Uh, it was um hmm. Truth to be told, I was nervous. Honestly, I was nervous. Even
Yeah.
for this interview, I am
Oh,
nervous about it.
oh,
Yeah,
don't worry about
but oh,
don't worry about
that
that.
that goes the same where
We're good.
yeah, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel at first because meeting people online, one you don't really see who they are. Some people you don't see who they are. Some we do,
Right.
but at the same time, no matter whether or not you see them or not, I started off nervously,
Hmm.
and then once I am able to vibe with them,
Yeah.
that's where we get the ball rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you break down that first layer, of because everybody naturally puts up a little shield no matter what they're doing. But
Yep, yep, yep.
if you can make that connection beyond that, human to human, person to person type thing, then everything goes so much smoother. Um,
Mm.
whether it's collaboration, whether it's anything really in online or not online, it usually tends to go that way. I'm all for that. I mean, more conversation the better when it
Yep, yep.
comes to things. We could get everything could get along a lot better if we actually talked, and all that sort of thing.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, what are you playing right now online?
Monster Hunter.
In the new Monster Hunter.
Yes, the new Monster Hunter. Yes.
I knew that answer to that question before you even said it. That's gonna be Monster Hunter.
This is me nervously laughing because I have been playing it for the past I think 1 week. It's almost a week, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So what is different from this one from the last one, and what do you like this one better than the last one?
I would say, I would say no matter which Monster Hunter I would play, it's always be the best. Because
Yeah.
I am the kind of person who's like, uh, when something drops into my doorstep,
Mm.
even if it's something small or something big, I would love them anyway. So that's exactly how I feel about Monster Hunter as
Yeah.
well. No matter if the game is slightly older
Yeah.
or maybe there's a new generation for it for other new players to play,
Yeah.
I would still have fun with it no matter what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's just, sometimes there's a successful game and a franchise out there,
Hmm.
and they come out with a sequel, and it's terrible. And people are like, okay, I'm not
Yep,
going to
yep.
pay attention to it. I'm going back to the original. In fact, these days you're getting games now where they don't so much come out with a new game as they just keep adding to the old game, um, putting extras onto it. Like those gotcha games do that a lot. Um,
Yep, yep.
so so you give this one an A+ along with the first one,
Yep.
huh?
I mean, just as long as I enjoyed it. I mean, when you mentioned about gacha games, I think that's the second thing that I actually streamed back then. Although I did eventually stop because gacha can be addictive. It can actually be bad at the same time.
Yes, it can be
So,
extremely addictive.
yep, yep. It was badly addictive, I
Yes,
think.
yes.
Um,
Games that are 30 years old, people are still playing because they haven't gotten the one thing they needed to get.
nope. Exactly.
Yes, and spending a lot of money on them too, unfortunately. A whole different, I
Yep.
think. So,
That's where the line is drawn.
yes.
Where you start spending too much money on a gacha game, either you stop playing the game entirely, or you should start pacing yourself, or else you won't have the saving to do something else instead.
That's right. You need to get another part-time job just so you can play whatever game.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I went through that too with a couple of games online. Um, so, are there any other games that you're looking forward to play? Is there, or I mean, are you obviously gonna stick with this new Monster Hunter for a while? But
Yep. Aside from that, I think there is another game that I'm waiting at the moment. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's called Rune Factory.
I've heard of it. I don't
Hmm.
know if I've seen it, and I certainly haven't played it. What's that about?
Basically, it's a fantasy Harvest Moon game. It's
Mm.
basically that.
Oh well, that's not
If
nothing
you're
bad about
familiar
that.
with Harvest Moon,
Hmm.
Story of Season, yep, that Room Factory is that kind of game with some fantasy element in it. You can do farming simulator at the same time with fighting monsters.
Mm. That's cool. Yeah, that might be something I'd be interested in because I haven't played like the animal that stuff, but I did play plenty of Stardew Valley.
Yes, I play that a lot as
Yeah.
well. That game is oddly addictive for some reason. I
Oh,
mean, the graphic is not there, but it's really fun.
yeah. I mean, I've got 30 save files. I'm
That's
serious. I
a
really
lot of
do.
them.
I have a
Wow.
lot of them. I keep playing them, and there'd be an update, and I'd play through that a bunch of times, and I'd play with the cheats, and I'd play this, that, and the other thing, and then they'd update it again. I haven't done anything with the newest update, the new big update they had out there last year.
Yes, there is. There is. I did not try that one that either. I
Yeah.
have to keep restarting the game because I keep forgetting what I was supposed to do.
Yes, I know. And I would have to restart again, of course, and add yet another save file onto it.
Yep,
Um,
yep, yep.
but I would not have any time to do things like this, or or have a job, or see my wife on occasions.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Although
Understandable.
she wouldn't mind that, I imagine, at this point. See me a little less during the day. Um, but it's that's the type of game that you can really get a comfort in, and you could play for 5 hours and not worry about it. Kind of like
Oh yes, yes.
Monster Hunter's that for you, isn't it?
Yep, Monster Hunter is that for me as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I think Monster Hunter is one of the few action games that I would just keep on playing and again and again and again
Hmm.
because usually I just play a lot of cozy games. Sometimes you just need to find something to just let things out for fun.
Yes. I call that the Transformers factor, where you go see a Transformers movie, you're not there to watch Shakespeare, you're there to watch things blow up.
Oh
So
yes,
sometimes you just gotta go blow some
exactly.
things up.
Sometimes you just want to turn your brain off,
That's right.
and then you just want to enjoy what's happening right in front of your screen. That's it.
That's it. That's exactly right. That's why a lot of people go back, I think, and play the retro games.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I've got one game that I go to every once in a while that I have to slow the computer down so much that it's pretty scary. But it does run. But I mean, it was like a Windows 95 game that is slowed down so much on the computer, but it still runs, which I'm thankful for. But I know every nook and cranny of this game, but I'll still go back and just run through it just because I want to. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it. Is
Now
there?
I'm curious what game that is.
It is called, and I'll tell you, Might and Magic 7 and Might and Magic 8. That's a
Okay, I think I heard that game.
you
Oh,
know, a
that's a
lot of
long
people. A
game.
lot of people have heard Heroes of Might and Magic, which is a little spin-off of it. This is the original Might
Ah,
and Magic game. And after Might and Magic 8, they tried 9. It was terrible, and they stopped the franchise. they
yeah,
they
but I heard about that game. It was, I think back then I wanted to try some of the games as well, but
Yeah.
since we had to study and everything, so I don't really have that luxury to actually try those. And then
Yeah.
now I can.
Oh yeah. I
Yay.
mean, The Sims would be one of those games too. I played that a lot
Oh
when I
yes.
was younger. I was killing off everybody in The Sims. You can. That's one of those games you play along for a while and like, okay, now let's figure out how to murder everybody.
Mm. And the old Sims will be like, yeah, well, we're just gonna take off the ladder and that's it.
That's right.
Yes.
Yep, that's it. Okay, that's one way to go. Now let's see how we can torture
Yep.
them the rest of the way. Um, and oh, there was another one I was going to mention, but those games, that was original, very much a comfort game. Um,
Yep, yep.
you sit there for hours and then you look up and it's daylight, and you have to go to work in an hour, and you're like, oh, I should call in at that
I don't
point.
know. For me, it's gonna be like, is that the sun? So, oh yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're enjoying yourself a lot with this, and has it always? I mean, you said you took some time off a little bit to kind
Mm.
of reset a little bit, but for the most part,
Yep, yep.
has it been enjoyable for you over these years?
Yep, it has been very enjoyable. I have old friends that
Mhm.
I have old friends, I have new friends. Sometimes, when friendship tend to, what do you call that? Let me think. Not disassociate.
Um, just it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just like, okay, that's okay, that's totally fine. Then after that, we just meet new people along the way, and we do know that we end up vibing with them.
Mhm.
It's really, really interesting.
It is. It's the chance we have now to meet people across the world and find out what they've got, their talents and their abilities. And some folks on VTubers are tremendous singers and artists,
Oh
and
yes, they are.
and but everybody's got their own personality for it. Um,
Yep,
fol-
man.
Folks are coming back for you because they enjoy watching you do the games. It's not because you know because you're playing Monster Hunter, well, necessarily because But they're watching you play Monster Hunter is fun.
Yep.
And
I think the Monster Hunter fun is part of it. I think the other one people keeps telling me is that sometimes I'm just too cozy at one point where whatever I play games with,
Mhm.
they either be like, okay, this is cozy, I'm falling asleep. Is that okay? And I was like, yeah, sure, sure. That's fine.
Yeah,
If you want to use me as a means to to be able to sleep well, I'll take it.
yeah. But and at the same time, it's nice to know that they're comfortable with you
Yep, yep.
enough to do that.
And yes, and I really appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah, that's underrated, and I think some folks are getting that now. That the folks who have you on in the background, they're the people that keep coming back because they're safe. You're a safe spot for them. They're enjoying themselves,
Mm,
and it is mostly live when you're doing this,
y-
especially on Twitch. It's live, and
yep, yep.
it becomes a regular thing for people to tune in, like the old radio days. The old radio days.
Oh,
You know,
oh yes.
yeah,
That
and
was really fun, actually.
yeah, and it's I see a lot of parallels to that here, where you folks are the kind of like the DJs of our time,
Mm,
where folks can watch. In the old days, you could go to a city here in the United States, and you'd have three different stations playing the same music. Um,
at the same time.
yeah, I mean sometimes it's all the same format, like a top 40 songs in the country, that type of thing. You could hear a
Uh,
certain song on any station. However, you came back to the station for the personality of the person playing the song.
yep, exactly. That's what it is.
And it's what
I
a lot of
mean, I
VTubers
don't
do.
miss that, but we can be the DJ instead now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I watch streamers now who are DJs,
Yep.
and they're nutty talented. I can't even think about that type of talent. I want their equipment too because I'm an old radio guy and I love that type of equipment. But it's. Have you thought about doing another type of stream rather than the game streams?
Mm, honestly, I thought about it.
Hmm.
That's one that is probably gonna be there. This is probably a little bit weird, but it's more like opening a confession booth.
Well, go ahead.
But
Go ahead.
that's gonna be, but that's gonna be done on my third year Twitch affiliate
Mm.
for funsies.
So we're gonna have to push you up there and get that taken care of so we can find out. I'm not gonna push you
Yep.
for any hints. We'll keep that as a secret for now. But it's nice to know that it's there for you and you can come back and sit down and enjoy yourself with other people enjoying it with you. Um,
Yep. Yep.
are there any times you kind of sit back and maybe in the middle of a stream you look down and see chats going at it and you're enjoying yourself and you realize exactly, how did this happen? How did I get
Up until now,
here?
I'm still thinking about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you feel when that hits you? I mean, you're important in these people's lives.
When I think about it, sometimes it can be rather emotional because
Mm,
I don't know when you try to do things back then, it doesn't seem to work. But once you try to do it again and it works, it feels like is this actually true? Is this
mm.
is this a dream kind of thing? So sometimes I have to keep turning around and ask my partner and be like, "Hey, is this actually happening at the moment? Are they there?" And
Yeah.
she'd be like, "Yeah, they are there. I mean, what are you talking about, old man?" And I was like, "Yeah, I mean, can you pinch me and see what happens?" It's like, "Yeah, I got pinched, but it's gonna
Yeah.
like it doesn't hurt. Unfortunately, it doesn't hurt, but I know it's
Yes.
it's real."
Yes. I don't ask my wife to do things like that because she volunteers too easily. Pinch me. Oh, sure. She comes running across the house. No, 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 no. I'm okay.
Yep.
But I understand what you're talking about.
Mm,
It almost doesn't seem real while you're doing it, and the realization that people are there for you is humbling in a lot of ways. Um,
mm.
and some people will get the big head for it, but my head's already too big. or something like that. I was in radio for a long time. You can't get any bigger head than that. and
Understandable.
yes, but um, and it does change them up a little bit. Do you think that you've changed your style over the years as a VTuber?
I think I did.
Mm,
I think so. I
yeah.
mean, this is from the experience itself. Back then, when I was just starting,
Hmm.
when I saw all some of the old clips, I would say I was a little bit noisy. I think I'm not sure that's true. Most likely have to ask other people about it in terms of comments or anything, because when I want to comment myself, it probably won't sound right either. So at least for me, at least for me at the moment, I do feel I was a little bit rowdy. I was a little bit loud, but after I come back from the little long holiday, I said, you know what, let's try again and see and make things a little bit more better then.
As we really
And
become old men, we have to settle down, you know.
not wrong. Not wrong.
The back
Something you
starts,
just have to settle down.
yeah, the back starts hurting and the hips start hurting, and then not enough ibuprofen in the day to get through. Azriel,
Yep.
it's absolutely wonderful talking with you. I'm glad we were able to get this together
And
and
it's
get you on.
amazing to talk to you as well.
Yeah,
It's really, really fun to actually listen and, talk about things.
yeah,
It's nice. It's really, really nice.
it's great for me, but it's also, I think, great for people out there to realize what we have here in VTubing is a chance to really get to know people and see so much more talent that in 20 years ago we wouldn't have ever seen. We wouldn't
Oh,
have had this
yes, that's
opportunity.
true.
And we get to meet folks and enjoy their company, and the world becomes very small. And sometimes that's a really good thing to have that
Yep.
have a very small world. But I'm glad I'm here with
Oh, yes,
you,
yes,
and
yes.
I thank you so much for coming on with me. Um,
And thank you for the invite. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Honestly, this is my first time, by the way, so that's the reason why I'm nervous. So.
Well, it sounded great. Now, if you got some big stuff coming up, you got some special programs, let us know so we can let everybody else know. We'll do an
All
update
right, all
if you
right.
want later on, but we will have the links that we have picked up for Azrielite on the description for this video on the Eric Loy Interviews channel. Again, Azriel, thank you so much, and we'll get you on again sometime soon.
You're welcome, and thank you as well.
Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.